Good evening, students. If the demand curve slope downward, does the supply curve also slope downward? No. And today I'll show you why. Welcome to IEMS Global. Learn economics from zero, step by step. Friends, a supply curve is a graphical representation of supply. It shows the relationship between price and quantity supplied. We will put price on the y-axis and quantity supply on the x-axis. The supply curve is moving upward. Shows how seller behave when price changes. The supply curve slope upward from left to right. This means when price increase, quantity supply also increase. And when price decrease, quantity supply also decrease. This shows the direct relationship between price and quantity supply. Now we'll explain why. When price rise, profit per unit of a producer also increases. So firms want to produce more and sell more. To produce more, firms may need overtime workers, some extra machines or resources. So higher production usually need higher prices to cover the higher cost. Let's take the example. Suppose you run a coffee shop. If coffee sells at $2, you may produce 100 cups. But if price rise to $5, you will try to produce 500 cups. Means higher prices always indicate higher supply. This creates the upward sloping curve. Now supply is of two types. First, we will discuss movement versus shift in supply curve. Important for exam point of view. When price change and quantity supply change along the same curve, it is called movement along a supply curve. Means its initial position does not change. It is also of two types, extension and contraction in supply. In extension, when price increase, quantity supply also increase. And in contraction, when price decrease, quantity supply also decrease. It's called contraction. Other is shift in supply curve. It is due to other factors. Supply curve will increase rightward or move leftward. Friends, which factor shift the supply curve? Means rightward or leftward. First is cost of production. If the cost of production increases, firm profit will be lower. This will shift curve backward. And when the cost of production is low, firm will have a high profit. Then supply curve will shift rightward. Second is technology. If we use a updated technology, supply curve will shift rightwards. If you use outdated technology, supply curve will shift leftward. Third point will be the taxes. If the government levy taxes, supply curve will shift leftward. And if the government reduces the taxes, supply curve will shift rightward, as it will reduce the cost of production and firm profit will be more. Next point is subsidy. If the government gives subsidy to the producer, firm cost of production will reduce. Firm will have a more profit, supply curve will shift rightward. And if the government withdraws the subsidy, cost of production will increase and supply curve will shift leftward. Next point will be the number of firms. If the number of firms increases, supply curve will shift rightward. If number of firms decreases, supply curve will shift leftward. Students, some common mistakes you make in the examination. Student confused demand slope with the supply slope. Remember, demand slope is downward sloping curve and supply is upward sloping curve. Trick for it: D means downward, S means skyward, upward. Now you have understand both demand and supply in the previous video. If you have not seen the demand, then you can go on a previous video and see the demand curve. So now you understand both demand and supply. In the next video, we will combine demand and supply and find the equilibrium price and the equilibrium quantity. Most important concept in the economics. So students, subscribe to IEMS Global to master economics from zero. If you have any query, please comment in the comment box. I will definitely reply you. Thank you very much.